I think that the budget Casio I've got for you today is a G-Shock in disguise. Not only that, I'm going to give it a £7 upgrade to make it even tougher. Let's get into it. Yes, and welcome to the Mad Watch Collector Show. It took Kiko Ibe and the tough team at Casio 2 years and 200 prototypes before they got to this beauty. The original square, an anti-gravitational shock watch. This octagonal design was the best design for dispersing impacts if the watch was ever to fall on the floor. Now, the most basic original square, the DW5600E, you can't really buy for any less than around £70 these days. But today, I'm going to show you a Casio that's under £20 with an added £7 accessory. You can turn this into a G-Shock beast. You're intrigued, aren't you? Yes, I think this little budget Casio is a little G-Shock in disguise. Now, I want you to picture the scene. We're in a fancy nightclub and a DW5600 gets chatting to a Casio F91W. Sparks fly, and before you know it, well, let's say we just can't separate them. Anyway, 9 months later and a digital child is born. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the W-218H. You can see an influence of a G-Shock there, can't you? It has that same 8-sided case. It's beefy looking. In fact, it's actually beefier than the G-Shock. Not only that, but the legibility of this watch kicks this G-Shock into next week. This W218H has a resin plastic case. The G-Shock is more rubberized, and you get the sense that it would take more of a beating and some shock absorption. Now, what I always find annoying with the Gs is the pushing of the buttons. Always quite recessed into the case. That is by design. That's part of their patented feature. With this budget beta, the buttons are very easy to push, and yet if you did drop this watch, they could get scratched up by the surface on the floor. But when am I ever gonna drop this? I'm not a dropper. Oh shit, dropped it. Now, as far as the module goes on this beta, you can't really get more of a basic one. We can change to military time, 24 hours or 12 hours with the touch of the top left button. Bottom left is the mode. We get the alarm. We get 100th of a second stopwatch, and then back to the time screen, which allows us to change the time and the date. The bottom button is that backlight. It's not an electroluminescent. It's a nice glowing orange bulb from left to right, and it is more than adequate when you're trying to see the time in the dark. On the front, the watch says 50 meters worth of water resistance, but with this watch, let's be honest, whatever job that you have where you're involved in a lot of water, I'm almost 100% this watch is going to survive. Where this watch falls down though is the face. I've got to say, I really do like the look. All black with those little arrows of red. Again, it reminds me of Knight Rider or the A-Team van. Black and red always does. The glass protecting the screen is only acrylic plastic, which means it will get scratched up. And to make matters worse, the big chunky bezel of this watch doesn't protrude over the screen, giving that acrylic no protection whatsoever if you were to scrape it against something. But wait, what I'm going to do to it soon will solve everything. Quick talk about the strap, and I do love this strap. I've seen this on a few recent Casios I've bought. Great textured detailing on the top surface. Plastic buckle. For the money you spend, you just got to give it a pass. Inside, there's enough breathable pattern there to stop your wrist getting sweaty. But for 20 quid, this is a watch you should be aware of. So right, yes, this watch has its limitations. It's a better legible screen than the G-Shock, but what lets this watch down is that front face. Not only that, it's very light. I think it's only about 37 grams, which is a good thing for a sports watch, but you know, it feels like a couple of cornflakes. A G-Shock is around 52 grams, so there's almost 20 grams difference. But I'm about to do something to this W218H that is gonna make it tough as nuts. Introducing the bull bars. Yes! Got them from Amazon. The link is in the description below, as well as the watch. But because this 218H is pretty much the same octagonal design as the 5600, these bull bars are going to fit on this like a dream. And with the help of some editorial magic, Voila! Now we've added 3 things to this already cool beater. 1, we have now got protection on the front face, and it's almost like an added bezel. So if your watch hits up against something, the first thing it's going to make contact with is these bull bars. Number 2, I think we've added about 7 or 8 grams worth of weight, so the watch does feel a little bit more premium. But the third and most important thing, it looks cool. For some reason, these bull bars turns a budget Casio into $1 million. Well, at least $7 more. It's now a watch that definitely looks more than £20. I'd say at least 30. But putting these bull bars on the 218H has given me a newfound love for this budget G-Shock. Now, if you don't like the resin black colour, don't panic. Casio have got many colours you can choose from. I do like that tactical green one. And listen, I challenge you. Buy this 218H, give it some bull bars, and congratulate yourself on a bit of easy but tough modding. Lovely jubbly. Here it is, my wife's thoughts on my awesome W218H with the bull bars that have made it extra tough. Ha ha ha. Oh, not another Casio. Feels cheap. Looks like a G-Shock. Looks cheap. It's very boring. Right. I so much enjoy bringing you these awesome Casio bargains. This watch channel is dedicated to showcasing every single brand on this earth, including SKME, all in one light-hearted package. Click here if you want a little bit more of the Mad Watch Collector, and if I've got you for a few more minutes, why don't you click this one? Oh, it's special. Very special. One of the best. Just magic. Go on, click it. Go on, click it. Click it.